Hi, I'm Judy. Welcome to Go with Yin Yoga. Today I have a somewhat short Yin Yoga practice that will help to strengthen your low and middle back and will also help to calm anxiety. Now, of course, if you have anxiety that's out of control, if you have thoughts of harming yourself, any of those sorts of things, please seek help. I am obviously not a medical professional. I'm not a therapist. I'd like you to come to an easy, comfortable seat for you. And if it's comfortable for you, I invite you to close your eyes. If not, just have them shut down as much as is comfortable for you. Begin to just really arrive. Whatever you are sitting on, whether that's a cushion, a blanket, a chair, feel that connection between where your seat is and the support underneath you. Feel very, very supported. And relax your face. Begin to lengthen your neck. And now begin to take your attention to your breath. If you're familiar with Ujjayi breath, sometimes referred to as ocean breath, I invite you to take a deep inhale through your nose, and then on the exhale, practice Ujjayi, also sometimes known as Darth Vader breath. If you're not familiar with Ujjayi breath, just breathe in and out through your nose deeply, trying to make the inhales and the exhales approximately the same length. So deep inhale through the nose, then constrict the back of your throat, Ujjayi breath. I'm exaggerating a little bit. And continue on like that. I wanted to give you a little bit of information while you are arriving and grounding into your practice. And we are today going to practice a few more active or yang poses in the beginning, because when you're very anxious, if someone tells you to calm down, you're probably like, yeah, right, that makes me more anxious, right? I know I get that from my husband. From those yang, more active postures, we're going to settle in and practice a more restorative style of yin. Props help to decrease muscle tension, which allows your body to relax. We will also be practicing an inversion, nothing too crazy, something that should be pretty accessible to everyone. And inversions, when your head is below your heart, helps to quiet the nervous system. And quieting your nervous system is going to help with anxiety. And finally, that nasal breathing, that Ujjayi breath, helps to soothe the nervous system and lower your heart rate. And actually, lowering your heart rate soothes your nervous system. And finally, I'd like to read you a quote from Bo Forbes, who wrote a book called Yoga for Emotional Balance, which deals with both anxiety and depression, and says, "When we dwell on the future way, we rehearse anxiety. We create more of it." Yoga helps us be present by observing our thoughts and our feelings, noticing our breath now, and connecting our body and mind. So as we move through this practice, I'd like you to occasionally stop and ask yourself, how am I feeling right here, right now? can I allow that feeling to just be without judgment? Take a couple more deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the nose. And for our last breath, we're going to inhale through the nose and then exhale out through the mouth and let all the tension go. So inhale through your nose and sigh it all out. If your eyes are closed, go ahead and slowly open them. Slowly taking in the mat, the floor. Take your hands, palms up. Elbows are into the side. Inhale, stretch your arms forward. Exhale, make fists with your hands and pull them back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, pull back. Inhale, forward. Pull back. This is called pulling prana. I'm trying to let go of that nervous energy and bring in some good, healthy energy. A few more times. Sometimes we just need to move some. We can't settle down right away and let our nervous system just completely relax until we've dissipated some of that nervous energy. Closing your eyes and go ahead and coming off something. If you are sitting on something and pushing that off to the side, come to all fours. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. On your next inhale, go ahead and bring your toes, curl your toes under. Inhale, begin to push those toes up. As you bring your hips up, walk your hands back to your feet. Take your hands to your hips, and then slowly come up with a straight back. And I totally forgot to tell you what props we need. We're going to need blankets, bolster, and potentially a block. So go and grab those now. And now that you have those props, we can get on with the practice. Go ahead and grab that block. Or if you prefer, you can grab a bolster and a blanket, maybe a cushion on top of that bolster. Step your feet wide apart. Take your hands to your hips, inhaling in and out through the nose. Inhale, stretch up toward the ceiling. Exhale, keeping the back flat. Come forward down towards the floor, folding forward over our feet. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to do this a couple of times. Inhale. Come up halfway. Back is parallel to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. Come on up. Exhale, forward fold. And this time, go ahead and grab that block. You may need two. I'm going to grab a cushion. I need a little more height. We want to bring our forehead to the block. And what really works well here, I actually don't have my blocks here. If you take one block like this, the other one horizontally on top of it, so it's a T shape, and then you can easily bring your forehead to the block. And try and place the block about where your third eye is between your eyebrows. If it's comfortable, let your hands come down to the floor. They can also be on your ankles, on your shins, wherever is comfortable for you. I'm going to take several deep breaths here. Notice how you feel. Allow those feelings to be. Let the feelings be without any judgment at all. Feel as though you're allowing all of that anxiety to pour out from between your eyebrows into the block or the blanket, the bolster, whatever your head is on. And just visualize it flowing down the block, onto the mat, into the earth, even if you're inside. Let the earth take all your anxiety away, or at least some of it. Last couple of breaths here. Last breath. And slowly begin to push into your palms, taking your forehead off your block. Hands come to hips, come up halfway and pause. And then slowly with a straight back, come up all the way to standing. And for our next Yang posture, I need to change our view. Another great thing about inversions, hi there, it lets you see the world in a different way. Physically, you are bringing your head down and you are seeing it from a different perspective. So I'd like you to come standing with your back towards the wall, approximately maybe half a foot from the wall. This is something you'll have to play around with to find where you're comfortable, and you can always adjust as we go through. So on the inhale, you'll inhale your arms up and then begin to reach back for the wall, trying to get the palms onto the wall. Maybe walking down a little bit, trying to open up through your chest. Inhale up and exhale down. If you're familiar with wheel pose, basically we are doing wheel at the wall with just the hands. And if you're not familiar with it, no worries. Just opening up through your chest, bending our back a little bit, getting out some of that energy. Feet are about hip width apart. Inhale, hands reach for the ceiling. Begin to press your hips forward and bend towards your wall. Inhale up, exhale down. If back bends are not in your practice, if they're not good for your back, you might want to try flying cow. And I did that in another video recently, and I'll see if I can link that up for you. Sorry. All right, let's do that a few more times. Inhale, arms reach for the ceiling, hips push forward, really engage that core, pushing away from the wall. Inhale, arms reach up for the ceiling, and exhale down. Let's do that two more times. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hips are forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, push the hips forward, engage your core. Be mindful of that back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms come down. So, what thoughts and feelings came up for you while we were doing our first two postures? Were you able to allow them to just be? Let them go without any judgment. Just notice how you're feeling. Notice what thoughts are coming up for you. Do you feel like you have dispelled some of your anxious energy and begun to calm down? I hope so. We're now going to move into more restorative yin poses. So go ahead and grab your bolster or your pillows. You can even take a big stack of blankets, anything that's going to prop up your back so it's about this high off of the floor. You can even take a couple of blocks, block here, drape a blanket over it. It's not as comfortable, I'll be honest, but it will work in a pinch. And I also suggest grabbing a blanket, putting it horizontally across the bolster towards the top to help support your head. So go ahead and face away from your bolster. Bolster is vertically on your mat. facing the short ends of your mat. Take the soles of your feet to your mat and slowly begin to lay back on your mat. Let your arms come out to either side and then bring your feet together, the soles of your feet together, and let your knees fall open. If this does not feel comfortable for you, take 2 blocks. Put a block under your thigh. Even if it does feel comfortable, you may still want to do that. Remember, we talked in the very beginning, and I know there's a lot of talking in this particular practice. We talked about how anxiety makes us tense, and that tension makes our muscles contract. And all of that makes our heart rate increase, and we're caught in this vicious cycle. So by using props, we allow our body to relax. And we're going to be here for about another 4 minutes. I would probably put the blocks under my thighs, except I only have the 1 block here. Notice your thoughts and your feelings. Can you allow the thoughts and feelings to just bubble up without judging them? And if you're having trouble with that, bring your attention back to your breath. See if you can smooth out your breath. Notice what happens if you do. Last couple of breaths. And last breath. Go ahead and reach down to your thighs. If you have blocks there, go ahead and remove them. Otherwise, just hold on to your thighs and slowly bring them back up. Begin to roll to one side and slowly bring yourself up. You need to hang on to your bolster, although you can do our next posture without the bolster. If you do have it, go ahead and bring it so that there's a little space, couple inches maybe a little less. It's always something you have to play with. A couple inches between the bolster and the wall. If you have a blanket and you're on a hard floor like I am, go ahead and unfold it so that your head will be protected. Sit up on the middle, about the middle of the bolster. This is always very awkward. What we're going to do is we're going to move the hip that's closest to the wall right to the wall. So we're shifting a little back on our bolster, and that hip is right on the wall. And then we're slowly going to come down, and we're going to slowly bring our legs up. So actually move towards the front of your bolster. Because as we come down, then we're going to be coming into the middle. And there you go. Easy, right? So here we are in legs up the wall. And by using that bolster, now you don't have to, you could just be seated. And you do exactly the same thing. You could be seated on a mat. You could bring your hip to the wall and you swing your legs up. Or if you don't have a wall, just come down to lie on your back on the mat and bring your feet up towards the ceiling so that your legs are perpendicular to your torso. It will have the same effect. Now, by using the bolster, we do make this, again, a slightly inverted pose. Our head is below our heart. And this helps the heart rate to come down. And the heart rate coming down calms our nervous system. It's got a whole trickle-down effect in our body. And slowly over time, it's going to help calm anxiety. We'll be here for about 5 minutes today. We are roughly about halfway through this posture. Again, notice your thoughts. Allow them to be without judgment, and breathe. Now, if you notice for whatever reason that any of these poses are making you more anxious, it's always possible. We are all just an experiment of one. Take your attention to your breath. Where the breath goes, the mind goes. So when you become anxious, Your breathing tends to get more shallow. And that makes you feel even more anxious. So if you can recognize that and not judging it, just take your attention to your breath and see if you can smooth it out, trying to make the inhales and the exhales equal, or maybe the inhales with a slightly longer exhale might work better for you. Again, experiment with it. Notice your thoughts and feelings. Put aside any judgment. Take your attention to your breath. And then notice how those thoughts and feelings possibly change as you bring your attention to your breath. A couple more deep breaths here. And last breath. And slowly take the soles of your feet to the wall, or bend your knees if you're just on your mat. Stretch out one arm along the mat and slowly let your knees fall over to one side. Slowly. It's awkward, it's not pretty, but it works. We are setting up for our last posture, Shavasana. Please don't skip this. Do you know how good you feel at the end of a yoga class, and then you pop up and you go out and that good feeling just absolutely dissipates, right? If you stay for Shavasana and you let your mind and your body integrate everything that you've done in this practice, I'm not promising you that you'll feel blissful the entire day, but you'll hold on to that good feeling a little bit longer. So gather up whatever props you need to be very comfortable in Shavasana. We'll be here about 5 minutes. It's not really that long. One thing I am going to suggest, and in fact I need to reach for one of my props. Okay, so I like a bolster underneath my knees. Legs about hip width, a little bit more than hip width apart. You might, if you don't have a bolster, grab your blocks, put them under your knees on whatever height feels best to you. I have this pranayama pillow, as they call it. It's really for sitting, but I use it for many other things. And I'm going to take that about where my bra strap is as I slowly begin to move it down a little bit. Slowly begin to lay down. That's about the right height. I'm trying to open up the chest one last time. Open up the heart, really. And take the pillow underneath your head so that the head is not tense, your neck is not feel uncomfortable. You're just trying to get the heart a little more open. And I am going to sit up to hold space for you. I will let you know when it's time to move again. And again, let your body feel very heavy. Notice how it touches all along on your mat. Notice how supported you are by your mat and ultimately by this earth. Just let the weight of your bones feel heavy, supported. I have one last quote that I'd like to read to you, also by Bo Forbes. When you root yourself in the moment and in your body, something else happens. You uproot your focus from anxiety and depression. You have an embodied experience of not anxious or not depressed. The body and the mind remember this situation. The body and the mind remember this sensation. Each time it occurs, you strengthen this healthier pattern of not anxious and not depressed. Slowly begin to let your breath deepen. And this practice, by the way, helps to strengthen your kidney and bladder meridians. When those meridians are out of balance, they can create fear and anxiety in our body. Kidney is also associated with water, and winter is associated with the water element. Begin to take whatever little movements you need to wake up your body. Maybe wiggling toes and fingers. Maybe opening and closing your mouth really widely a few times as if you're yawning. Perhaps turning your head from side to side. Then your next inhale, really stretch up your hands over your head, away from your feet. Big, long stretch, taking any little micro movements you may need. And then let the hands come back towards your side. Bend your knees and take the soles of your feet to the mat. Slowly letting your body turn and your knees fall over to whichever side feels right to you. Taking the bottom arm, stretching it along the mat, cradling your head, and take a few deep breaths here. Keeping your eyes closed if they are. Take your palms to the mat and slowly begin to press your torso upright, keeping your neck in line with your spine. Coming to an easy seated position. Inhale, bring the palms of the hands together in front of your heart. Bringing together your body, mind, and spirit. Slightly bowing your head over your hands. And slowly begin to blink your eyes open, taking in your mat and the floor, and slowly raising your head to look forward, hopefully with a smile on your face. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this practice has taken that anxiety level and turned it down a little bit. Maybe got rid of some of that nervous tension from the beginning, and then allowed you to really relax and feel nurtured. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you feel nurtured, and may you be radiant.